Hello everyone. Today in this video about Git and GitHub, I will go with the basics. I will show you how to install and configure Git on our Windows operating system. We will also cover the essential technique to create a repo and move our project files onto this repo using GitHub. So, using Git as a source control management tool has become an important skill for software developers. Git helps us to manage code in a project as you are adding new features. It helps us to find and fix the issues in the code and simplifies the collaboration with other team members, whether you are in your office or anywhere around the world. So let's just get started. The first step in installing Git is to go to your favorite web browser, like suppose Google Chrome, and search for Git. The first link which shows up is this get-scm. SCM means source code management. This is the official website for Git. So let's go there, download Git for Windows. As you can see, it's downloading. Once it's downloaded, just click on it. Installation process has been started. Here, as you can see, this is the location where the program would be installed, so there is no reason to change it. Let's go next. And as you can see here, you can check this box if you want to have an additional icon on your desktop. And over here we can see these two options, Git Bash and Git GUI, the graphical user interface. Most of the time we would be using Git Bash. I would not recommend using Git GUI. Reason being, one, it is very limited in scope, and two, if you are a developer or looking for a developer job, so you should work with command line, as most of the companies, they would ask you about Git commands during their interviews. So click next. I will go with the default Vim editor. Next. So now we have these three options. I generally like to use this third option, use Git and optional Unix tools from the command prompt. So leave everything default now. We click next. So next. So meanwhile this is being installed, let's go to GitHub. So go to Google Chrome again and look for github.com. Once you are on GitHub website and you don't have an account with GitHub, just sign up to create your account. It's really straightforward. Verify your username, email and password. And your password. So once you have signed up with GitHub, it would ask you to verify your email address, and once the email is verified, so as you can see here, so you would have the option to create a repository. Let's go for that. So over here I would give a name to my repository, like suppose test repo. Here you can see the owner of this repository, and if you want to give a description to this repository, you can also give like something, it is just a test repo. You can make it private if you want, but I will leave it public for the time for this demo. You can also add a readme file by checking this box, and add a git ignore file if you want. So I'll go for Visual Studio, and same thing you can do here if you want to choose a license, but I will just keep it plain for this demo. Create the repository. So the repository has been created, as you can see here. This is the name of the repository we had given, and this is you can also see the description here. and these are the two files which we had added while creating this repository. So now as Git has already been installed onto your machine, so let's go to Git bash. So this is the interface you would see for Git bash. If you want to see your working directory, you can do so by typing pwd enter. And now let's create a folder on your C drive as Git. So we don't have anything here. So once we have created this folder, we'll go to that path by typing cd c git. So you can verify if you are in that directory by typing pwd again. As you can see, you are in that directory. And if you want to see the files inside this directory, you can do so by typing ls enter. Right now we don't have any files, so it's empty. So the next step is to configure our account with GitHub. So for that we need to provide our name and our email. For that I'll use the commands as git config global user.name. Here you have to provide your username as first name, like for me suppose it is AI, the last name is tech, enter. Same thing for email, git config global user.email, and whatever email you had used for your GitHub account. So for me it is ai.gmail.com. So this information would be used who has made changes to the code. So now our account is set. So what we can do, we will clone our repository onto this folder. For that we'll go to our GitHub repository. As you can see here, code, click on that and you will find this link. So copy it either by clicking right and then copy, or simply click on to this copy button. So the link would be copied on to the clipboard. And now go back to git bash, and to clone it into this folder, what we will type as git clone that URL which we had copied. So here you can see that this repository has been cloned onto our local directory, as you can see here, c git. So now I would go inside that path test repo. So for that I would run the command as cd test repo. If you want to see the files inside this folder, you can just type ls. As you can see here, readme.md, that's the same file. And so now we have cloned our repository from GitHub onto our local C Git drive. So after that, suppose like you are working on your project and you have created some files, like the files may be CPP files or text files or C# file or whatever JS file. So and you have them over here in this repository. Like for this demo purpose, what I would do, I'll create one example file, like example test file, my first project file, right? Whatever you wanna write over here, just save it. And so what we have done now, we have added one file into our local repository. And if you come here onto the git bash and you want to check the status of your repository, so what you will type git status. So it will show you that this is a file which has not been added onto the repository. So for that, so you just need to run that command as git add the name of your file, which is example test file.txt. So this would add this file to the staging Git. So let me tell you that every version control system tool provides a private workspace as a working copy. So developers make changes in their private workspace, and after commit, these changes become a part of the repository. So user can perform many actions with this repository, such as add file, remove file, rename the file, or move it, or commit the changes, and many more. Right. So this working directory is a place where files are checked out. So in other version control systems, developers generally make modifications and commit their changes directly to the repository, but Git uses a different strategy. Git does not track each and every modified file. Whenever you do commit on an operation, Git looks for the files present in the staging area. Like suppose for us, like once we have added this file, so this has gone to the staging area. Only these files present in the staging area are considered for ready for commit, and not all the modified files. So let's see the basic workflow for Git. I can show you this image quickly. So step 1 is our working directory, like you modified a file or you added a file from the working directory. Step 2 is you add these files to the staging area, and step 3 is you perform a commit operation that moves these files from the staging area to the repository. So for that we use a command as git commit. So git commit, and you should also give like the -m is for the message, what message you want to write for the commit you are doing. So like you can write your first commit maybe, or whatever you want to write. And then your file name. You can see here we have got an error. It's because we have not given the correct name of the file. So let me type it again, git commit, and then the message -m, whatever message you wanna give here. It's like a comment you want to put with your commit. So like first commit, and the name of the file, example test file dot, let me make sure it's correct this time, and then hit enter. So as you can see, it has been committed successfully. So the command is git commit -m for the message, and whatever message you wanna give here, first commit or initial commit or whatever you want, and the name of the file which you are adding. So now we have committed our code onto our local repository. So what we will do, so we have to move this file onto our GitHub repository, like to upload it to our GitHub repository. So the command to push our changes to the GitHub repository would be git push -u for the user, origin, and main. So this would ask you to log in into your GitHub account. So you can either use your access token if you have it, or otherwise you can just sign in with your browser. So let me go for that option. As you can see here, I will provide my user ID, and my password. So authorize Git credential manager. You can save your password if you want to, but this is only first time that the first time you have to provide the credentials. So here you can see that we have successfully pushed our changes to the Git repository. So let me go there onto our repository. So as you can see, we don't have that file yet, but let me refresh it, and now you can see we have that file uploaded onto our Git hub repository. And if we open this file, so we could see that we have the changes in our file. This is the way like you can edit your file, and the same way you can add as many files as you want. Like suppose I have added these two files, second file and third file, and when I would run the command as git status, so it would tell me that these two files, they have been added into my code, but they have not been committed yet. So the first step would be to add those files into our staging area, and from there you have to commit those changes by using that commit command. And then once those changes have been committed locally on your local branch, so you have to push your changes onto the GitHub repository by using that push command. So guys, this is a way how you create repositories and upload your files of your project to GitHub repos, so through command line option. So I hope you like the video and had fun learning this process. Please press the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share this video. Hope to see you guys soon with another exciting video. Thank you.